Like I was totally on the wrong screen for a minute there. And I forgot to. Well, I'm just a mess tonight. Do we have sound?
Yes, we have sound.
Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and tonight we have a couple patterns to work on. And hang on, first let me show. We got my wife Mandy's with us. Hello. And yeah. So wait, before I get started, let me remind everybody that the secret word game is back. All you got to do is chat and you can win these two lovely bracelets. One was made by me and one by Minute Craft, and that is something awesome. All right, let's go back to over here. So, hang on. Got mice and all kinds of stuff. So, desktop. So this is the one we're working on tonight. So I took a pattern 28048 from friendshipbracelets.net, which was a really simple repetitive one, and I came up with this pattern. And when you click on my patterns, it gives you a PDF which I have blown up really big, so hopefully I'll be able to see what I'm doing from over here, which is kind of a distance away. So yeah, so as typical, in case you guys are kind of new to my way of doing things, I did this pattern in a rainbow, basically 6 colors, purple to red or red to purple, however you want to put it, so that way it would represent the fade. So essentially what we have here are 6 browns that basically make a really cool fade. And yeah, I kind of like doing these kind of things, but when you try to make a pattern in colors like this, it's super hard to see. Is it the third one? Is it the fourth one? You know, the colors, they look so much alike, it's almost impossible to tell what you're doing. So I do it in a rainbow, and then you can like substitute and you can see like exactly what it is. Like, so the blue is my second darkest, my purple is the darkest, and I can see that the blue came all the way down to the red, which is my lightest color, and that's where it changes its direction. So it was going to the right, so it's going to go to the right and then the left. So there we go. So this is kind of fun. Patterns like this should be fun. They should be kind of easy. I think that trying to, you know, little things like making the pattern easy to read definitely helps take some of the stress out of it. So hopefully, if nothing else from tonight's video, you get that, you know, you can reduce the stress by using the rainbow instead of trying to make all the colors exactly like they really are in real life, because that's just too hard, and you don't need that. Nobody needs that. All right. So the next one is the third darkest color, and apparently it just makes like a little diamond right here. So if you guys haven't already, hit like on the video. You know you're going to enjoy it. Might as well hit the like now before you forget. That goes for everybody who is watching this when it's no longer the live stream. I really appreciate the likes. It helps out a lot. You might notice there's a bit of a color tone difference going on, and that is because one of my light bulbs went out, and I have these other ones that are a little bit softer, and I was just like, I'll have to do what I have to do, but it kind of gives like a weird glowy effect to my face. I don't like it. It is what it is. Maybe I'll try to get a new light bulb this week. Alright, so there we go. We have a little diamond. Whoops. Pulled hard and the knot kind of rolled over. So, hopefully you guys have been having a really good week. I have had a pretty decent week. I have. Do you guys remember last week I showed you this picture as a little bit of a teaser that I'd be working on something? Well, there it is. Yes, it's all blurred out. Why? Because I have decided to make it a patron only update thing. So if you follow me over on Patreon, you can check out that, as well as get a lot of other cool insights as to what's going on over here. So, and you help support the channel. And like right now, YouTube is not monetized, so supporting the channel would be absolutely awesome. Oh, and that reminds me, there's a new little thing in the bottom left-hand corner, if you hadn't noticed. Apparently, we're about 1/3 of the way to monetizing YouTube with our watch hours. So you can see the little graph down there. Just a little something we're going to have, I think, until we actually do get this monetized. So you guys can help by just simply watching my videos. Even just being here today is helping. So thank you for that. That's awesome. You can watch, I have a number of playlists if you're interested in spending an afternoon with me. That would be awesome too. So yeah, we can get these watch hours up. I can do some more giveaways, and we can have some more fun with that, I think. So. Alright, so now the blue comes all the way to the outside. We don't get a lot of the darkest. Yeah, it is. It's a funny little donut one, yeah. So yeah, the red area is the amount that has been watched, and the blue area is the amount left to go. Okay, so now this color goes all the way down to the darkest. Well, we have my very wonderful graphics artists to thank for the donut. So A bot donut, yay. Wait, would that be a bolt? Especially if it was one of his nuts. You know, when you're trying to like quietly listen into 90s rock alternative in your ears and then like chop suey comes along, it's so hard to not just sort of bounce your head and be all happy and, you know, keys up on the table. Yeah. But yeah, I think it'll be kind of it's a fun little thing, that graphic that we can actually see if next week we've made any progress. I know that so the weird thing is the watch hours, it drops off whatever you had that was exactly a year ago. And a year ago there were some good days. You know, I mean, we're obviously doing a little bit better now than we were back then, but there were some good days. So the numbers really vary from day to day, and I don't know when Google actually does the updates. Like, you know, the numbers basically look the same all day long. So I don't know when that actually changes over, but day to day, I really don't try to look at the numbers every day. I used to actually put it in Excel spreadsheets and had like cool graphic charts and stuff that showed me like if there was movement in any directions or whatever else, and, you know, tried to be super analytical. And I swear to God, I think it was giving me an ulcer. So I really try not to do that anymore. But I figure once a week we can check back with it and see if it looks like there's progress. All right, so the next one does a diamond, but this time this color, it's represented as green, so that's like the third darkest, only comes down as far as that last string there, so it's just 4 knots. So this is 2, 3, and 4. So this one turns just a little bit sooner, so that's kind of neat. And then this on the outside comes in, and there's even less of the darkest color. I had to make a choice. Like, so when it comes to doing a fade like this, I had to make the choice of which side of the rainbow is the darkest versus which side is the lightest. And I basically went off of the notion of what seems to be what gets liked more on Instagram, and that tends to be the ones where the bracelet gets a lot more of the lighter color used. So this uses very little of the darkest, and then the whole center area is bright and whatever. So that seems to be a thing. So that's what we're trying to do here today. Hello, Minute Craft. So yeah, I'm not able to actually watch. I normally like taking a look over at the analytics and see like how many people have joined us and everything. I don't get to see that today because if we look, I have a great big zoomed in thing. I'm trying to keep track of where I am on this so I don't make mistakes. So yes. So, Minute, were you late because you were off on the west side of the island picking up lots of floss? The joke there is that the other day I was out. I spent the day out scouring the island looking for floss for that big secretive project that we have for Patreon. And Minute was mentioning some places, and I slowly worked my way from all the stores that were on the east side of the island until I got to the west side of the island. And when I got over there, I found a shop where after I bought 25 boxes of this embroidery floss, there was at least another 30 or more left, at least. So I informed her that I did leave her some string. Yeah, journey to the west for sure. Yeah, I put in about 17,000 or 18,000 steps that day, just basically from shopping and going from train to train. That was intense. Yeah, so there's little subtle changes each time we do these little diamonds and stuff, which is kind of cool. It's subtle, but we're slowly getting closer and closer to the brighter end of the bracelet, so that's neat. Well, I can tell you one thing. Working with this string is so much nicer. Yeah, on my days off, I try to make it about walking and getting out and getting exercise. So there was an element of doing that as well as the determination to find strings. So it was twofold. Once a day, I really, or not once a day, once a week, I try to just get out and get a lot of steps in and enjoy a burger and a vanilla shake, because, you know, send my body mixed messages. Look, I'm exercising. I'm also eating, like, you know. Well, I don't eat fries with the burger or anything. It's just the burger and a shake, so I can't be that bad, right? Is it that bad? I don't feel like it's that bad. Please don't tell me it's bad. So this time, this one comes down not nearly as far. It only has like the 3 knots. And that means we're at the second darkest brown, just makes a little double thing like the first dark one did. So yes, we must deny the badness of the burger and shake. Alright. But hey, we're making enough progress. I'm actually having to scroll on the page over there, so that's something, right? Yeah, I have a thing for vanilla shakes. Like, honestly, that's what got me hooked. And the fact that it actually has shake in the name of the burger place, that's just, you know, it must be good, right? Yeah, we have a thing now. It's like pizza Saturdays, because then there's like leftover pieces of pizza for the after party, so I'm not like starving to death before bedtime. Especially vanilla shakes that are thick and like really taste of vanilla. Yes, it is Shake Shack. Yeah, I started at the airport and then went to Expo, and then from Expo took the downtown line to I think it was Tampines or whatever. Well, I was all over the east for a little bit, so I started with the Shake Shack at the airport, and then ended up having Shake Shack for dinner at Suntec. Had to do the hand thing. Oh, so you missed the little thing. We have a new little thing in the bottom left corner that's our watch hours. So the red is how many watch hours we already have, versus the blue indicates how many we have left before the channel becomes monetized. So I figure this is a little something until it becomes monetized, that we can actually check in weekly and see what kind of progress is being made here. Yeah, I'm not good at giving hints. I once gave a word puzzle to my now wife, that was supposed to be so difficult, but it was supposed to express exactly how I felt. I knew in my heart that one day I would marry her, and that was essentially what the thing spelled out. She had it for about 30 seconds or less and was like, oh, one day you're going to marry me. Like, how? How in the name of, like, what? How? Yeah, that's why I don't do hints. So now, this color is sort of just in the center of those other diamonds. Now it kind of comes out and does the diamond shape. So this is... yeah, it was early days. This was... somehow I even knew early on that, you know... but yeah. Well, I knew she was smart, but sometimes even knowing that wasn't enough to know, like, she's that smart. So now, this is the one I just used is the lightest color, so it just makes its appearance for the first time in the whole bracelet as this tiny dot in the middle here. And it's that little difference that makes these fades sort of neat. It just, you just see the colors slowly, gradually going through their cycles or whatever, so it's pretty cool. So again, this time, instead of just going down 3, this time it goes down 4. And this is how we're getting that real gradual changing of the how it goes between one to the next. So I mentioned earlier that there'll be an after party. For anybody that's wondering what that is, basically after the live stream, I like to hang out with my Patreon supporters and see how things are going in their life, and you know, hear from them if there's anything about the live stream that maybe I could have done to improve the quality, or, you know, just whatever's kind of going on. You know, there's nothing very formal about it or anything, so we just kind of hang out for a bit, which is kind of funny because by that point I'm a little tired and, you know, a little silly, so it tends to be pretty lighthearted. When I think pork bellies, I think of the movie. Have you guys ever seen the movie Trading Spaces? It's Dan Aykroyd I don't remember who else was in it. I have to look. No, it's not Trading Spaces. What is it called? Trading Places, yeah. Eddie Murray and Dan Aykroyd, where the two were given, one got his life ruined and the other was taken off the street and given a fancy job. And there was trading pork bellies. I don't know why that's a thing on the stock exchange, why somebody would trade pork bellies, but when I hear it, I think of that movie. So, ladies and gentlemen, we may be at the earliest time that we've ever gone into the food segment of the live stream ever. I'm not sure how we got there. I'm not even sure I'm in control of anything anymore. So, yeah, welcome to my stream, or their stream, or something. Fortunately, on the plus side is they're mostly talking about things that aren't making me hungry, so yay. Yeah, the fermented shrimp thing just made my stomach go. I'm trying really hard to not sneeze, but there's like something's going on here that I'm definitely feeling one coming on. I wonder if that's like the Korean shops here. I don't know why, but there seems to be an awful lot now of Korean and Japanese stores all over Singapore. I was looking for something to drink the other day, and I was like, oh, there's a supermarket. Oh no, it's some kind of Korean thing. It was like the K store or something. I was like, yeah, no. So this time, that outer color comes down only for 3. And this color only does the little inset thingy here. So yeah, this is way different than what the original pattern was. I just went completely crazy fun with it and was like, heck yeah, let's make something different. Yeah, it's probably, but I don't get like, oh, I like anime, I'm gonna go eat Japanese food for, or you know, like, I don't get the association. The two doesn't make sense. Yeah, I guess expects. They're always messing stuff up, right? Okay, so now this one goes all the way out. I can't think of a single show where I was watching movie or show or whatever and was like, oh, that makes me hungry. Am I just watching the wrong kind of shows? Or maybe I'm watching diet shows, right? Like, because they're not trying to make me eat. Like, that's like being
They're not really working.
Ayo. Well, you don't know that it's not working. If I was watching shows like you guys that are like, ooh, it makes me want to go eat, then I could be like huge. So now we're finally down to the lightest color, making the little diamonds. And the cool part about that is it means that we've gone basically through all of the colors. So the dark color reappears, but it just appears as like a little dot in the center of the lightest ones. I think that's kind of neat. So, have you tried the Korean chicken place over at Marina Square? Seems like every time I go by there, there's just enormous queues to go try this food. I have no idea why.
It feels so new.
Yeah, but it's all...
It's the biggest Korean fried chicken chain.
Yeah, I don't know. But see, I can't bring myself to thinking that there's any food that's probably...
Yes, PhD.
Yeah. That there's any food that's worth standing in a line that long for. Like, there's nothing I've ever eaten that was like, oh, that was so good, I would stand in a long line to eat that. That's just not... I can't even relate.
Shake was ridiculous when it first got here.
Yep, and I didn't eat it then.
Satin.
All right. So now that we're down to the lightest color, I know that we're approaching the middle of this. So I kind of have to be on my toes to make sure that I don't mess this up. Okay. It does seem that way. Like, and Mandy won't flinch at all. Like, if there's a restaurant that she's fond of and there's a huge line there, like if we're at a Haka Center, like the first one she's looking at is the one with the queue. That's the last one I want to go to. Mind you, I'm from the American culture where get in, eat, fast, and leave. Like, I had the hardest time adapting to this culture of getting a table, sitting around with friends, eating, talking, and like sitting around so long that you can actually start thinking about getting something else to eat again. Like, shouldn't we be leaving? Aren't they going to be mad? You know, I'd just be losing my mind. You had to wait at least an hour that one time for not our Park Haka Center, the other one at Chungpang, the Hokkien noodle or Hokkien mee. That one you waited at least an hour. Mind you, to be fair, you can't really see. Dude keeps everything on a piece of paper, so you can't necessarily see how many people are ahead of you. Alright. I'm still actively trying to make sure that I know where I am on the pattern. So this diamond is the actual center of the bracelet. So at this point, everything starts to go back the other way. Hey, Isabella made it. Hello. Hopefully you've had a good week. I like that you guys think I have a nice voice. I am, I'm kind of feeling like it's probably a little scratchier than normal. I'm dealing with some sleep issues, and essentially my doctor took me off of a medication that apparently used to help me sleep, and until I get used to not being on this medication, I'm having to deal with waking up at all hours. And like last night, I think I did about 3 hours of meditative music before finally falling asleep, or at least 2.5 hours of meditative music before it finally put me out, which used to go a lot faster. I just heard a Discord sound.
Hello?
Is that... It is a Phil.
You didn't hear Discord.
I heard Discord sounds. Basically my phone and my computer, I have like almost every possible notification silenced. So when something happens, I'm like, oh, there's a noise. Like, oh my God, what is that? Magnesium is something I take when my hands cramp up. I have something that it's so weird. There's a medication called leg cramp. It's good for any part of your body having cramps, but it's actually literally called leg cramp. And it's essentially magnesium tablets. You put it under your tongue and you let it dissolve, and the cramps will go away. I'm kind of prone to getting it in my hands. Like my hands will get really super, like I can't get my thumb to come back out kind of stuff. And so I take them for that. I don't know if it...
Have you tried tonic water?
No, but I do know that soap actually works. When it was getting really bad at first, if you hold soap, the lanolin in soap will help release the cramps in your hands.
Depends on how bad the cramps are.
Right.
Because my godmom does that. She keeps a bar of soap at the foot of her bed for leg cramps.
Right.
And then, but those cramps, those bad ones, they still kick in.
All right. All right.
She drinks tonic water, and they'll stop the cramp.
Nice.
Almost immediately.
Nice. Well, the leg cramp medication or pills or whatever, you get it from iHerb. It's not really, I don't know if you can call it medication, but it's little tablets. Pretty much knock it out immediately as well, which is great.
Shoot, they have they got it in powder form too. You can get magnesium in powder and mix it up and make a drink out of it.
Right.
They call it Calm.
All right.
Well, it's not, like you said, it's not medication. It's natural supplements.
It's a supplementing thing, right? Apparently, though, you can do too much magnesium, so you shouldn't get too. I don't want to say dependent, but you just don't. Right? Yeah, just you got to be careful to not overdo it. Like I would be hesitant on doing it on the daily, just because it is one of those things that. It can't. When I went and
reserve it for when you actually need it.
Right. Last time I went to the doctors for like the whole blood tests and whatever, I had them check to see whether or not I had been taking too much, and I was in a perfectly healthy range or whatever. But you know, the fact that they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll check and make sure that you're not doing too much," tells me like there is such thing as a too much. And I didn't want to go and see what that ends up being like. Also, did milk and magnesia? Milk and magnesia is actually magnesium. Like that's actually part of the whole thing. Like so, magnesium can help with stomach issues, and that's part of that. That's what that whole thing is all about. So yeah, go figure.
baking soda will do the same thing in 15 minutes.
Right. Doesn't that seem counterproductive? Like something that's fizzy to help settle your stomach? Like if my stomach is already fizzy, why would adding more fizzy be good? Unless it's like putting the baking soda into the soda can or the soda bottle and you put the lid on real tight, so then it just like blows the end out of it.
No, get yourself a spoonful of baking soda, drink some water because it's gonna taste gross, and then it'll stop all stomach issues.
Kind of amazing. We are covering a wide range of topics here this evening. Wow, minute craft with the science over here. Yeah, I know, right? It sounds like something that would like cure constipation, like in the most aggressive way. Thank you, Leia. That's nice. I like them too. You can't see the darker ones are way up at the top, so it's essentially a fade going down to these lighter colors. We are in the process of heading back towards the darker colors. It helps release the trapped air, huh? That reminds me. Why does putting axe oil on your belly button release trapped air? And for Phil, you probably never heard of axe oil. Axe oil is this, I don't know, all the old guys here seem to love this stuff, from anything from achy muscles to your nose is plugged up. It's got a real strong smell that'll open up your sinuses, and then you can rub it on your aches and pains. Your legs are itchy, you put it on your legs for that. I mean, it's just used all over for all kinds of things. And apparently
And here I thought you meant Axe body spray.
no, it's actually I actually have a bottle if this is it. So
It sounds kind of like they use it kind of like a vapor rub.
it kind of smells a little bit like those vapor rub kind of things. It's a plant that actually grows in this part of the world, like in Malaysia and stuff, and it's really strong. It's medicinal. It's whatever. And my mother-in-law insisted one time I was having a bloated tummy problems or whatever, and she insisted I try putting the oil in my navel, and I was just like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Why would that work? And then it worked. I was left baffled. Like, that's the most absurd thing. Yeah, so it shrinks pimples. Yeah. Its number of remedies. I don't know. It's crazy. And I doubt that it's available in America. Honestly, I don't think I've ever seen it before.
I'm sure somebody in a swap meet will have it.
I was gonna say it's the kind of thing that like there's possibly if you go to Chinatown, wherever, like there might be stores for that kind of thing. So is it menthol? It's not just menthol. Like we went, we were up in the Cameron Highlands in Malaysia, and this guy was giving a tour. It cost us like $20 for 4 of us to get a tour. And one of the things he showed us was this plant that had like the tiniest little leaves. Like the leaves are like the size of one of these knots on my bracelet. And he picked this plant, like, and it just looks like a regular little old weed. But when you kind of crushed the leaves in your fingers, it smelled like Axe oil. I have no idea what the plant is, but yeah. Yeah, so it's got eucalyptus, lavender, and mineral oil. I don't know what that is, but menthol and menthol, something else. So a lot of menthols.
You should be promoting menthol. That sounds like something the tobacco company would say.
I'm just telling you, man. I was just thinking, does this make it cool?
Here all week, everybody. Here all week.
Oh, man. I'm not sure that anybody else even got that joke, Phil. Cool as a menthol cigarette.
Shoot, my dad used to smoke cool menthol 100s.
So did I in high school. They were like the strongest cigarette I could get that, you know, made like it seemed like the best value for the dollar, you know.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm gonna say you couldn't get Marlboros.
No, but you know, like you could get like you only get like so much time to smoke in between classes, and like this was like, you know, the bang for the buck and the longer cigarette and the whole like it just I don't know. Plus they taste all like, you know, minty and nice.
Shoot, the best time to kill your brain cells is at school during the learning process.
Yeah. Choke your brain, starve it from oxygen. I had a lot of problems in school. I seriously, I did not do well. I remember one time where I really honestly just gave it my all. I studied as hard as I possibly could to see how much better I would actually achieve if I really put my mind to it. And there was almost no marginal change, and I just wondered, why am I wasting my time if nothing sticks anyways? Like, you know, effort or no effort, I run into the same basic level of, you know, fail. Then why do I try? Yeah, I had time to smoke in between classes. I was always tall, so I was fairly quick, and I inhaled those cigarettes. Jesus, hot boxing like crazy.
What, in the car or in the bathroom?
We had smoking areas. That's how old I am.
For the students.
Say what?
You had smoking areas for the students.
Yes.
It's wild.
because once upon a time, cigarettes weren't like, you know, the end all baddie of things. It was. I got expelled though for smoking in the non-smoking area before school, and I got talked into like going over there with a friend, and I don't know why we just thought that this was going to be a good idea, but we were off to the side of the school. We got caught, and I got expelled for like 3 days, and it just happened to be when my foster parents had gone off to Vegas. And yeah, I was in a lot of trouble.
Every time I hear somebody say they're going to Vegas, I just picture drunk tourists just screaming Vegas, woo, and they pass out.
Yeah. My foster parents owned dry cleaners and a party store. And so they had a little bit of money, not super wealthy or anything, but they were doing okay. And so I'm sure they were there to gamble and see a show or whatever. Mind you, this would have been in the 80s, so I have no idea like how different the strip was.
Said my new craft doctors still smoke to this day.
Yeah.
My dad's an RN. He was an RN in the hospital, and they literally will flat out in a straight face look you in your face and tell you all your ailments are due to smoking. You need to quit smoking, and then they go outside on break. You go to leave, and you can look over and catch those exact same people smoking.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but the colors are starting to, the darker ones are starting to come in again. I like it. It's fun. And this is one of those cases where I'm really happy that I've already worked out the whole length and everything else. So like knowing that this is the center and knowing that the string isn't going to run out of length or whatever before I get to the end, it's kind of satisfying to know that this has all been worked out in advance. So I'm still having to actually watch the pattern kind of closely because it definitely feels different coming this direction than it did from the how it went from the other side. So there's like, it just feels like I could really mess this up pretty easily. Yeah, string chicken is a thing. I don't like that game. But winning is good. Winning is good. Congrats.
BRD.
Blueberry muffins. Hell yeah. Yeah, like on a pattern like this, where like a lot of these mid colors got used more than obviously the dark one or the even the lightest one, it's easy to feel like, ooh, is this going to make it all the way there? But knowing that the lengths of the strings are all going to be long enough to have actually been used even more, just helps to reassure that it's just not going to run out anytime too quickly. So that's always kind of important. Oh, in case anybody's wondering, my string lengths are 1/3 of a skein. So I actually did a video like how to do that, but you can cut your string into 3 pieces equally, and it turns out it's a really great length for just about any bracelet. It keeps it from running out even if you use the color an awful lot. So yeah. An ice cream hoard. Ooh. I can't imagine having an ice cream hoard. I can't imagine it lasting very long.
Yeah, I was just thinking, this is why we don't have an ice cream card.
Yeah. Ice cream's one of those things where when you're not really hungry but you want a little something, ice cream can always fill in the extra little gaps. It's just it's a nice little thing. Alright, now I have to figure out where I am on the pattern. I think I got ahead of myself. So this is the blue? Yes. So that's here. Okay. Yeah, because the one that I want is the chocolate chip cookie dough. It was a Ben & Jerry's thing. There are other brands that do it, though, to be fair. to be fair, I straight up just like chocolate chip cookie dough. I straight up used to make the ex crazy because I would go out and on a hot summer day and I would buy a thing of chocolate chip cookie dough, like the whole big tube of chocolate chip cookie dough, and grab a big knife and just cut chunks out of it and pass it to the kids. And, you know, one for them, one for me, you know, and she would start losing her mind about how you're supposed to cook that stuff and it's supposed to be cookies and we're doing it wrong. And like, kids, do you think I'm doing this wrong? Do you want to wait and have this stuff cooked? Heck no, we want it this way. You know, hot day, this thing's frozen. It was awesome. Yeah, she hated that. Yeah, I don't know 6 liters, but I know that way long ago, the girl who originally taught me how to make bracelets and I ended up living in this house in Detroit, and we were left by ourselves most of the time, and we didn't have money to speak of, and when we did, we probably bought cigarettes and whatever else, and we were not eating very well, and the neighbor worked at an ice cream place, and he had these big huge tubs of ice cream, and so we lived off of ice cream essentially for quite a long while, like at least a month, and not much more than that either. Oops. Yeah, I suppose we were happy.
Yeah,
Not getting a lot of nutrition. Not getting a lot of nutrition. Ended up sleeping large portions of the day away. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Totally different era. So I'm getting almost to the end of this now. You notice I'm like staring over at the pattern is because this really is the end of the bracelet. So, not bad. Oh, I should have you guys take a look. The other bracelet that I was going to do tonight is... Hang on, I have to grab the thing from across the room. It is 23432. So let me pull this one up because there are two versions that I can do with the pattern. I was trying to tempt me on the tummy here. So this is the pattern that I was inspired by, and this is the first version where basically I go through 3 colors and then go through the other 3 back to the first and then back to the other, or I do it all in one group and then all in the other group. So there's 2 possibilities for that one, and yeah, see, I'm almost to the end of this one. Nice one, thank you, Wayne. Oh, that reminds me, there's a sale going on over at my shop right now. The discount code's up at the top. It's like summer 23. You get 15% off. So, of course, that doesn't include the things that are already on sale. So, it's for all the other stuff. So, if you're interested in a bag or something, you should go check that out. I have a tube bracelet started. But I have not gotten around. There's like so many things going on. Oh, you weren't here earlier. So last week I teased with this image showing that there was a project coming on, and now there's this image, which is to say that there is a secret project going on for just my Patreon supporters. So yeah, my patron supporters are awesome, and they help make all this stuff happen. So yeah, I figured it'd be kind of fun just to share with them. Eventually, like when the whole thing is done, I'm sure I will share it over on Instagram or something. But in the meantime, there's this like my little side project that I have going on that's sort of happening. So there's just like a lot of stuff between that and the daily videos. There's just a lot going on. But yes, I do plan on making some tube. Well, I have bangles, which is essentially our tube bracelets, but they actually have a chunk of metal inside of them to make it a bangle. They're kind of neat. Oh, and because you weren't here earlier, you may not... Did I tell you about the little thing in the bottom left corner? That's where we are on watch time hours. So I'm seriously hoping to get the watch time hours up. We've been doing pretty good. I've been hitting up friends and stuff over on Facebook to go check out my YouTube and maybe try a playlist or whatever.
The Jesus piece has been on repeat.
Yeah. We're starting to get a little dent in it. We're about 1/3 of the way of the watch hours needed. So if we can,
so everyone go click on the intermediate friendship bracelets playlist.
Yeah, that is
that sucker on loop.
There you go. The intermediate is the longest of the playlists, except for maybe I think the live streams have its own playlist. I'm not entirely certain anymore.
I believe they do. But right now, the intermediates is still the longest.
But I think, okay, so the intermediate has the most number, but by like number of hours, the live stream might be longer just because live streams tend to be 2-3 hours.
Yes.
So there we have it. There's the whole bracelet. I like these fades like this where it's just, I'm not... So, okay, on my one screen... Hang on, I gotta take a look at the other screen. On my one screen, this kind of brown has sort of a greenish hue to it. On my other screen, though, it does look kind of more like it. So you might recognize this. I cut up a bunch of string all at once, and so there was like 3 bracelets with these colors. One I did dark to light, the other one I did light to dark, and then based on the which one got the most likes or whatever on Instagram, I decided to try to make this lighter in color, so that's why it's lightest in the middle. So it still has a fair amount of darkness. It's not bad, but yeah, that's why if this looks a little bit familiar, is because there were some bracelets that sort of use the same thing. So what do you guys think? This other one that I'm doing, how should we do it? Oh, wrong. Hit the wrong button. Yeah. I did a really great autumn one once. I should try to find the picture for you for that. I did one where there was like 18 colors all in an autumn sort of vibe. It was pretty cool. So, back to this. I need to pick up... Either we do where it splits into 4 pieces or splits into 2. What do you guys say? I should have done a poll long before now. Like that's on me. Like I get it. I messed up. But all right, we got to vote for 2. Oh, that kind of splits in half. We have one for 2. We have one for 4. You guys are killing me.
And then you has a vote for both.
Yeah, I'm very confused. I'm just going to start lining up colors and hope by the time that I'm ready to start nodding that somebody will have made a choice for me.
Right now, 4. You got 2 votes for 4.
So 4? Okay.
2 for 4. 2 for 2.
I didn't see another 2. I voted for 87. All else fails, you can always go for 69.
I just heard I was listening to some songs from like the 2000s, and this guy was like saying, you know, the square root was 8 something, and I'm like, did you seriously just try to throw some like corny math humor into your rap? It was so lame. Oh, here we go. So we have this one where there's like 2 segments, or this one where there's 4 segments. It takes up the same space. It's just how many breaks are in the thing. Yeah, so I think basically it's coming down to Rainbow has to split the tie. And these are really fun colors. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but like the instead of really having an orange, it's almost peachy salmon kind of color. The second one. Okay. And then the green has got like this real vibrant sort of a sea green kind of thing, but really vibrant. And then the blue, it's, I don't even know what to call it. It's pretty cool. All right. I'm surprised we didn't try the bot. Why didn't nobody ask what the bot wanted? Yeah, it's not every time that I have like a pattern that goes 2 different ways that, you know, leave it up to the everybody else.
I should just do an actual poll, but I also don't know how to create said poll.
Yeah, I did a poll over on the communities page. I made the mistake of saying that we wouldn't answer it until it got 100 whatever votes or whatever on it, and it's been stuck at like 20 something forever. So I'm not sure that we're ever going to get 100. Oh. The bot's all being nice. So you can already see that one of the problems of doing this sort of a start on a bracelet is once we join it, there's very little to actually take hold because, you know, there's nothing else already there. So it's going to be a little bit dicey starting off this way, but to make it kind of better, I can actually fill in what's over on this side, fill in this side before joining the two middle parts together. So I think we're going to do that. You probably gave it brain damage beating it up before. Oh yeah, he definitely has brain damage.
Say, hey, I officially made it.
May not be quite as funny as last week's, but that's still funny.
Oh, that one's a keeper. We got to leave that one in.
Right.
Shoot, it's almost meme levels.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm off to grab another muffin. BRB.
So the only thing on a pattern like this is the fact that it kind of keeps doing the same thing a number of times, and somewhere in my crazy ADHD brain, I will probably count how many of the little diamonds there are probably over and over and over, trying to make sure that I don't do one too few or one too many. And yeah, I can't help it. It's just part of, like, I will lose count, I'll not be sure, I'll recount. Yeah. I'm starting to get the vibe that maybe the bot actually likes getting roughed up. That little OK sign kind of. I am not one to ask what is normal. So, man, I need to increase the size of my pattern so I can actually see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Oh, that. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's normal either. Yeah. So these are such like happy, sunshiny colors. This is like 70s summertime colors. I think it'd be fun to like go through a series of colors like iconic 70s and then, you know, I'm not sure that would do really good in the shops or whatever, but yeah. So yeah, minute. My watch hour counter apparently is a magnetic donut that may be having effects on our bot. So it could be a screw loose, or perhaps the magnet is causing brain damage. I don't know. There goes the bot on a little walk. Put him to work. That's right. Thank you, Minute. So yeah, Discord is a fun place where people can share photos of, you know, if they play with these patterns themselves and they want to share what they've been working on. So that's always cool. As well as it's Patreon people get to join our hangouts, even join in on the live stream. Obviously, you hear Phil over here. Yeah, I hate to say that with that bot, with the pulling the string, yeah, that took so much work. That was like a better part of an afternoon just to make that. Ken makes me wonder what's up behind button number 2. Oh, it's that one. Yeah, nobody wants to Phil does have his own live streams, but no, he's on our live stream via Discord. But yes, he has his own live streams. He does video game plays. I forget what the name of the game was. But yes, to help support another YouTuber, we have joined that one. And that was a lot of fun. See, I've already forgot what
I
the
have
number is.
returned.
3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 diamonds. I've done 2 of 8 so far.
So looking back in this chat.
You're about to have another follower to your YouTube channel.
Also the I'm trying to think. I think the stream. Actually, we did a couple streams. I want to say the stream I did the longest was Saints Row, but I think the stream y'all actually watched was Watch Dogs.
Watch Dogs. I keep telling Phil that he needs to play the golf with friends, because Mandy and I both have that, and it's absolutely hysterical.
Shoot, can you get it on Tabletop Simulator?
I don't know. All I know is that I kind of stopped because I was getting so competitive that I would actually, I think my blood pressure was going through the roof playing the game, because I would get just so like, I gotta hit it right, I don't want to lose. I have a competitive nature that, yeah, got a little silly. All I know is that I kind of stopped because I was getting so competitive that I would actually. So this is kind of moving right along. We're already at our 3rd diamond. Hey, Steve. I like the name, but you would not be able to come to Singapore. Or at least not with that stuff. They just hung 2 people here in Singapore for possession, which makes me really sad.
A little extreme.
So, huh? What's the laws in Nevada? Is it legal there?
I said you can't walk 2 feet without coming across a dispensary.
Nice.
They're overpriced as hell, but they're there. So it's better to still have your guy.
Right.
Or a lady.
Or a farm.
Well, that part's illegal. You have to be licensed. And it's funny. They made it so if you're licensed, you can go ahead and go into business and sell it. But no bank will, not only will they not loan you money for your business, they will not accept your money to even open an account.
Right. Well, no, you can go to a bank, but you won't be insured because it's a federal thing.
They won't accept the money, period. There's no they will take it and won't cover it.
Right.
They won't accept the money, period. You can't do business here.
Nice.
I'm like, that's insane, because they still say it's illegal drug money, even though it's legal.
Right.
They don't accept
Well,
the
because
money,
it's
period.
because of the federal laws. The banks are protected by federal money, and
Not all
because
of them.
it's
That's only the ones that are insured are protected. The ones that's uninsured are not protected by those federal laws.
Okay, hang on. Steve wants to know. Oh, this is embroidery floss. I get this through AliExpress because I get a much better price than if I were buying, say, DMC. Not that I wouldn't accept a DMC sponsorship. I could change up. I could go to DMC. But yes, this is embroidery floss, which is much stronger than, say, using yarn or even pearl cotton. It's just more rugged. Makes for nice knots. Pearl cotton makes okay knots, but I much prefer embroidery floss. Especially this, it's thicker. Like this versus DMC, this will be just a little bit fatter. So yeah. I have tried, and it is absolutely, the satin strings do not hold a very good knot. When you slide the string up, there's no teeth to it, essentially. So when you slide the knot nice and taut, it starts to slip out almost immediately. And the only way to really get that to hold is then to get another knot in place, and so on and so on and so on. And it just doesn't. It's not easy at all to work with. However, if you really like the look of the satin floss, you can take, so if you look here, there's like 2 strands for each string that I have. So if you like the look of the satin, if you mix it with part cotton, because cotton has the teeth to it, it has something to hold it in place, you can do one cotton and one of the satin, and you can mix those two together in order to do it, and that works out a whole lot easier. Mind you, that satiny look kind of wears off pretty quickly. If you wear the bracelets every day like I do, within a week or so, that shininess seems to just kind of wear right off. It's still a good looking string, but part of the whole appeal of the string seems to get lost relatively quickly, which is kind of a downer. Yeah, you should probably take a look at some of the ones where I do the singles of. I'm curious as to like the differences between our strings when I do the single, because when it's doubled up like this, yeah, it's pretty big. But mind you, with this doubled up like this stuff really lasts really long. Like, you can wear one of these bracelets every day for years, and it's not going anywhere. Right. Okay. Because I've been doing a bunch of bracelets with like 24 strings and stuff. Like the Match Differently series has been with 24 strings, which I have to admit, those are some of my favorite bracelets that I've made in a while. Like, there's just something about them that are so fun. If you guys haven't checked it out, the Match Differently ones are where I put patterns outside of other patterns. So hang on, Steve is having a problem here. Okay, try following a different pattern. Some knots were sticking out higher than others. That almost sounds like maybe doing things not in the right sequence. I mean, that's kind of what it sounds like, but I mean, if you're like been doing bracelets a while and you get the sequencing right, then I'm not sure if that's tension. Honestly, I think I would need to see a picture. If you can join us over on the Discord and share the picture, we could take a look. Yeah. Yeah, that could be it too. Or if maybe, you know, because each knot is 2 segments, that's and you missed one, that could throw things off. There's like so many things that can go wrong to make a bracelet less than perfect, and that's it's unfortunate, but it's true. And the art of getting the bracelet right really comes down to practicing patterns that you're comfortable with until it becomes second nature, and then, you know, going in and going up to a more advanced and a little bit more difficult, and kind of understanding. Like even on this one here, like it could get confusing to see which string is at the highest point, because it always starts at the highest point, working itself down. But you have a lot of things going on all at once, so it becomes a little bit of a challenge to know where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing. And for me, why I don't have problems with this is just sheer experience. Obviously, in the earlier days, it would have been obviously harder or whatever. But I did a fair amount of simpler things early on, and it kind of made it easier to see and know what comes into which segments. Yeah. Yeah, how you pull your knots is a thing too. Mind you, we're talking, I don't even know how many years it's been now. Since 1987, I've been doing bracelets. There were some years where I didn't do nearly as many, but I still was doing bracelets. Is it 35?
Oh, 36.
Yeah.
36 realistically.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been a while. So if I make it look easy, it's just experience. So, and that's why I can look at a picture and kind of know maybe what's wrong. That's a good one. I heard a Discord. That was just to confuse me. What string is so terrible? All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at that, we're already 6 diamonds in. Oh, cool. Yeah, you can just put it right in the main chat. I don't think there's a place to actually...
Perhaps the work in progress?
Works in progress, yeah, that would work. Unless it's a finished work, I guess. I had to look to see what song is in my ears. It's actually called Amber. Right. Okay, Google, stop. Okay, Google, stop. That was really weird.
I'm surprised Hey Google still works.
Yeah.
Damn, I haven't seen that work in about 9 years.
The mind you, if I had the other one, the Amazon one, I would use the computer, you know, because that's just so cool. The Star Trek way of computer.
Shoot, what is it? The Echo?
Yeah.
Alexa.
Alexa. But you can actually change her command.
Shoot, I wish they worked without internet connections.
Right. I don't know why they can't.
Or just like with the bot, they have to report back to a server.
Yeah, but I mean, if they could be just ran internally.
Yeah, but then it's like a large language model. Its training database will be very small.
Right.
Versus using a server farm.
Right. Yeah, I can't wait until the AI starts to infiltrate that aspect as well, so that way I can start asking more complex questions and get results. Because right now, like, you know, I can ask what the weather for the day is supposed to be, but I can't ask, like, you know, what is the chances of rain this afternoon or any. It's like it'll tell you if there's going to be rain or not. That's it. You know, it can't at this point say that, you know, there's a 40% chance of rain or an 80% chance of rain, you know, which is a big difference, you know, if you're trying to figure out what to wear or take along.
I said, but to be fair, I said neither can a person.
No, but well, okay.
They're doing targeted guessing at best.
Okay, but however, if you have the Google display, you can ask for the weather, and then it has on the display, it'll show you 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and you can actually see what the chances of rain are for each one. So it has the information, it just doesn't know how to read it or do anything with it yet.
Eve has shared photos.
Oh, okay. Oh. So yeah, you're nodding in the right order. I really honestly think this looks like a tension issue. This looks like some knots were very tight and other ones are kind of loose. It's not bad. It looks like there's a little bit of struggling, like some of the zigzag knots, you're having a little bit more of an issue with. But yeah, it's about learning the tension and trying to, like, you might notice as I'm nodding, I'm making corrections all the time. I might pull the work a little bit to the left or the right if I notice things are getting a little bit off, but primarily that's tension. And what kind of string are you using? Like, that really so yeah. What is this, more like a yarn type string, or what's the string itself? Because that does not look. Yeah, it's definitely, I can see that it's doubled up in the second picture towards the end. You can see you have it doubled up. Also at the top, it's like it's flipped around upside down. Like something happened with your knots at the top of that picture. It's like it's Iris brand. I don't know that brand. Okay, when you just do, if you just do like a chevron, does your knot stay nice and flat and nice and even, or do you struggle at that with something like that as well? Because if you're, I'm gonna guess it. Right, okay. So it's a string that comes in like a bigger thing. I get it.
No, it's regular embroidery floss.
Is it?
8 meters.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a tension thing. So I'm wondering, like, if he has the tensions. Oh, you can't do voice unless you're a Patreon supporter. That's a rule. Mostly because I'm trying to get Patreon up higher. Weekdays I do regular voice ones. So if you're around later on in the week, I do try to get on there for that. Chevrons. Do your chevrons turn out nice and even? If so, then it's when you're doing a knot like this one here. Like this goes to the right and then goes to the left. If you're, because the bracelet you're doing there looks like it has the possibility of having turns, and that could be, maybe partly where you're kind of going off this thing. But really, I think Minute Craft's right. It's really it's about the tension. It almost looks like there's a blue X towards the bottom. It looks so fat compared to the white row right above it. So that's either tension or that the string is just not consistent. Yeah, I don't know anything about how she teaches. I avoid watching other YouTubers just because I don't want to be criticized for taking ideas. But yeah, you can show me patterns. But yeah, tension. See, tension is one of the things where it's hard to just kind of coach through like a video or even in person. It's really, a matter of learning how to, and that's where, like I said with the chevron, if you practice doing a chevron and trying to get each row to look perfectly even and perfectly straight, or even just like the candy stripe, trying to get a candy stripe nice and flat so it doesn't roll, there's like a whole lot of trying to get your tension 100% spot on, because I mean that's the only way that you're going to get that to happen, and that's yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, my new crafter is actually giving him really solid advice. Like, honestly, that's solid advice. Again, practicing some of the basics, the chevrons, the candy stripes, can go a long ways before, you know, you get into the bigger, more advanced ones. I mean, I know that pattern that you were looking at probably didn't look super advanced, but it takes more steps, and until you kind of get the nature of the how to be consistent, it's just going to make that big of a difference. Where's my, okay. Yeah. Yeah, so this is, it's not an overly complicated pattern, but it's enough that if you're a little bit new, if you're having trouble with tension, that's going to be a bit of a challenge. Yeah, okay, so yeah, there's no forward back knots, it's all straight. If you're following the pattern, like, oh man. So here's something that I don't know if Masha teaches you, but on a pattern like this, anytime where two strings come together that are the same color, let me bring this row down so I can show you this. Like, I'm yellow over the green, yellow over the blue, right? I have to go this direction because it's the yellow on top and the yellow comes to the right. Yellow over the purple, again, I have to go to the right in order to have the yellow on top and the yellow to be on the right hand side afterwards. But when I get down to the end of this row and it's yellow and yellow, it doesn't matter which direction you go in. When you get to these two strings, it doesn't matter this way or this way, whichever one you are more comfortable with in that pattern. And this is why it drives me crazy when I see these things. When you look at that pattern, it's saying that, like, inside of the white diamond, the blue comes 2 times this way, once this way, one. It doesn't make any sense. If it's blue on blue, it doesn't matter which direction it goes in. Although I will tell you, if you always choose going to the right whenever they do come together, it will lean a little bit to the right on bigger works. And when I say bigger works, I'm talking anywhere from like 50 to 100 strings. But it is a noticeable difference. I've seen it in my bags and some of my much larger projects. It's just part of what it does. But yeah, cool pattern. Yeah, so it's the green that's in the center of this one. Yeah, another thing can be how you're doing your segmenting. Like if you're, like you notice on this, right, like I might kind of work in an area and then jump to the other side. If you're not used to that kind of segment knotting, that can actually do some stuff. Right. Yeah, you might notice me doing this. Like there's sometimes I'm seeing it pulling in one direction. Yeah. Massage. I like that. That's a good one. Massaging the knots. Yeah, okay. So so this one has chevrons and diamonds, and one of the things I see in it, starting from where the loop is, as it's coming down, the diamond is a little bit wonky, and like as it goes before the other diamond, it gets a little bit wonky. So it's your tension. You're just need a little bit more practice with the tension, because it's not terrible, and yes, these are clearly better than the other one. But if you look at this for consistency, that's pretty good, right? I mean, that's what this is the kind of level that you should be striving towards. That kind of waviness and stuff, that it's just tension. And honestly, there's nothing better than practice to getting your tension right. Like that's honestly, it's trying to get every knot to have the same kind of consistency. Or if it's kind of leaning funny, sometimes you might pull the knot a little bit tighter to try to pull it in the direction where it's supposed to be. But that's, again, it's a finesse thing, and getting that tension down, that's, you know, I wish I had like an easy way of like showing or explaining like what tension does to the overall thing. But it really is, it's like an acquired taste sort of thing. It's like an acquired feel for knowing that your knot is just landing exactly how it should. Yeah, no, you're doing okay for the knots overall. I mean, all the knots seem to be right in where they're supposed to be. It's just an inconsistency in how tight the knots are. So yeah. So yeah, how long have you been doing bracelets there, Steve? So I'm right-handed. I know you can't really see all of what I'm doing. I can't zoom out. This camera isn't capable of it. see if I can come in closer. So in my right hand, I'm holding the string. Left hand kind of is doing all of the work. The right hand helps really gives me the feel for the string and like how my knot is coming along, and kind of tells me like where my tension is. My left hand pulls this up and gives it that little snap at the end, because you don't want to drag the string up as you're coming up. If you do that, you'll weaken the fibers and you'll snap your strings. So like it's real loose until it gets to the very end, and then there's just a last second, there's just a tug that gives it that little, it's almost a snap at the end for me. And that's where the tension is, right there, is holding this in the right angle, and then this gives it that thing. Yeah, so one of the things that's difficult is trying to tell somebody how to hold their hands. I've seen people who can hold the bracelet in one hand and tie knots with the other. I physically would have hand cramps and be miserable for it. So the most important thing is that you can be comfortable at it. Because if you're not comfortable and you do this for long durations, you're going to hurt yourself. So try to be comfortable. Try to recognize when a knot goes in really nice and clean, and try to always replicate that, because I don't want to give you advice on like how to hold your hand and then like you get carpal tunnel or something because it's not comfortable to you, because that's really super important. That's why I kind of keep my hands a little bit out of the picture, is because I don't want people to hurt themselves. This is the last thing. I want to inspire. I want to help people create, but there's a fine line between that and causing real pain and anguish. So it has to feel comfortable. It has to there has to be a sense of holding the string that's not, the knot itself, though it's the underlying string, holding it firm, and then bringing this other string in to where it's nice and tight. Doesn't matter how you're holding it. I use like my middle finger to kind of give the tension at the end, because this way it's like well in control. But maybe you do that differently. Maybe you're pulling it this way, where you can feel that it's in there tight but not too tight. The key is consistency. It really comes down to consistency. Yeah, see, I can't switch hands depending on direction. I don't. Now, how Minute Craft does it, yeah, that's completely foreign to me, and I would not be comfortable with that. Yeah. Yeah, it really is about practicing something simple and being able to recognize, like, okay, one of the things I'm practicing right now is my penmanship. And it seems easy, right? You can write. You've been writing for most of your life. But to be able to give yourself that criticism to say, this A looks nice, but the B needs, a little something. It's a little angled, it's a little this, the little top's still too heavy, the bottom's not, whatever. Giving yourself the right kind of criticism, and to be able to recognize when it's good and when it's not, is going to make all the difference. And it's then about the practice of trying to see what gives you that that really nice finish. Yeah, you might notice, like, I might hold several strings at once because it helps me to, like, be ready for the next string that comes along. Yeah, muscle memory is really a thing, yeah. Yeah, and so Rainbow brings up a good point. There is a certain level of muscle memory that will come with this. The key is, don't practice doing bracelets that are out of your league, because until you get the muscle memory to be able to do knots with a nice even tension, you're just making it harder on yourself because you're going to develop the wrong kind of habits. If you start out with nice easy patterns, you know, maybe like the dovetail and that kind of stuff, start out with nice easy ones, get that muscle memory to where the knots are really nice and perfect. Then when you then proceed to go to more difficult patterns, because it's at that point that you're going to be able to do it better, because you'll have that muscle memory. If you play around with patterns that are too difficult and your knots are all over the place, you're just reinforcing bad habits that will plague you for a while. Yeah, no, it doesn't. It's, again, it's about being comfortable, and it's about getting your style, finding your style that makes it come out the best. Yes, and welcome our new person in there. I don't know how to say your name, but welcome. Sorry, we're having lots of questions here, and we're trying really hard to help Steve. He obviously is really interested in improving his game. You'll get it, Steve. Honestly, you'll get it. It just takes time, and if you practice with the right stuff, honestly, you'll get it. No, you're okay. You're okay. I'm sincerely here to help and to inspire, so. I'm loving these cold colors. So the hot colors were fun. We had the orangey color was sort of a more salmony thing, and the yellow had kind of a golden hue to it. But now these cold colors are just fun. I like this. Yeah. Occasionally we get into food. I don't know why. So speaking of Discord, after the live stream, there will be the patron hangout as always. So, as we like to call it, the after party. So, yeah, you guys are my patron people. You guys are welcome to hang out. So, this one, yeah, I guess this is in the Arrowhead family. It's over on my website, so if you look, it was my take on a pattern number, what was it, 23432. There was a pattern that was sort of repetitive or whatever, so I was just like demonstrating that the way they did it could be done many ways. In fact, I had already done this. I've made a bag out of this pattern. Essentially just went, I don't even know how many versions of this bracelet wide, and made it like a cylinder, and that was pretty cool. I hate the elongated arrowhead. That is like my nemesis pattern, I think. If we did the drinking game every time I have to frog a section, that would be the pattern to get alcohol poisoning. So Steve, what part of the world are you in? No, because Korean pizza is horrible. Okay. I'm originally from Detroit, so I know where those areas are. But I now live in Singapore, which is like the complete halfway around the world. I'm pretty sure we have like a 12-hour time difference. Right now, it's 12:40. I guess that's AM.
Yeah, from Eastern time zone, it's about 12 hours.
Yeah, it's 12 hours. I know it was 12 hours with Detroit, so I'm assuming that he's still in that same time zone.
He might be on the edge of Central and Eastern.
Right, that's why I was like not quite sure.
So well, 12:13 for him.
Right. 11. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, so he was right. There's a 13-hour difference. Or 11? 11 hours.
No, 13. They're in Central. He's 2 hours ahead of me.
Right. Yeah, time zones and math definitely screw with my head.
We used to live it.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. Except for that it was a 12-hour thing between Detroit and Singapore. So like that was like pretty easy. If I was noon, I knew it was midnight. So it was didn't take rocket science until daylight savings thing kicked in, and then I was always confused. Yeah, I kind of almost wish I had saved what the color numbers were for this pattern. They're really, I can't express how much I'm enjoying these colors. Apparently I'm cute when I'm confused, so... That is my wife, Mandy. Well, fried food became like the target in the States. They started saying that fried food was the reason for obesity. And so KFC was like, oh, we're KFC now. Like somehow if we don't actually say that F word, like then it's okay, right? So mind you, they didn't do anything else to try to be healthier. In fact, they came up with some of the most ridiculous, like the chicken is...
No, they did grilled chicken. They do, you can get grilled or fried.
Right.
I wouldn't, but you can.
Right. But what's the double thing with the 2 pieces of chicken?
The double down?
The double down? Like that can't be healthy.
No, what's not healthy is their bowls.
I don't know.
Say Patton Oswalt said it best. It's a failure pile in a bowl.
Yeah, I don't think I've tried those yet.
Yeah,
I have tried the double down though. I have to admit I had to try one just in... I think I got it like during an era where it was like heavy on the cheese and stuff. It was pretty ridiculous.
I think when they first brought it out, it was all kinds of promotions and deals on it, so you can like get them pretty cheap at the time.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't think they stay on the menu the whole time. I think they bring it out for a limited time, kind of like the McRib. It just comes out. It's a big thing temporarily, and they take it away from you.
If you want to see weird stuff, though, you should check out Pizza Hut Singapore and see what kind of specials they got going on. Because Pizza Hut in Singapore is nothing like a Pizza Hut in the USA. Like it is completely weird. Seafood and all kinds of
I'm not
just
sure people know what Pizza Hut in America is because no one eats there anymore.
yeah. Once upon a time, they used to have like the all-you-can-eat buffet thing. That was okay.
Way back in the day.
Yeah. What's the other American one that has it's all weird over here? There's another American chain. Three, 4, 5, 6.
Dude, what's your definition of weird?
Just weird. Like just unlike what you would normally get in an American thing. It might have been Pizza Hut. Honey, what was the other? Do you remember what was the one that we went to? And I was just like appalled at the whole menu because it was just not anything like an American franchise. Was it Pizza Hut? That had like spaghettis and
We probably only ever did Pizza Hut once since you've been here. I don't even know why.
I don't know. Oh, probably because I was dying for pizza, and oddly enough, that was not where I was going to find it. The fact there's no Taco Bell is disappointing.
Kind of a win.
There's some okay Mexican places. I'll give them that much. The American Mexican type stuff. Yeah, we have Burger King. We have McDonald's. Burger King seems pretty normal. Nothing weird about their food. Although I have to admit, they have the plant-based one, which is pretty cool. I tend to get the plant-based burger. I like that.
Get yourself an Impossible Whopper.
Yep. Possible Whopper and the Hershey pie. Heck yeah. Yeah, Steve, Mandy is the one who makes the loops. Let's see if I can. How cool is that? It's Kumihumu, which is, or Kumihumo? How do you say it?
Kumihimo.
Kumihimo. Yeah, it's. So you have a Kumi maker. That's cool. If you can do little ones like this, they make for really, really cool loops. Two, three, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I don't know what a Kumi maker is, unless you're talking about the disc, which is, yeah, the disc things is pretty much what you use.
Kumi maker is like that loom thing.
I am so confused. I have no idea what that means. Is it the one with like the little hooks, like you have to like put the strings over the nails? Oh goodness, he's got 6 of them. Wow. Yeah, I've tried doing it out of cardboard and or on vacation once we found like this foam board that we put together. We like doubled or tripled it using some glue. Yeah, not as easy, honestly. Like that's seriously. I mean, yeah, kudos for the recycling thing, but it is so much harder to do. Rainbow shared her 2 bracelets on the Discord under the finished works. That's what I said. Didn't I say that?
You said Rainbow.
Oh, minute. Shared it. It's so pretty. It's so hard to like. It's such a 3-dimensional thing. Like I totally get the videos because the photos do not convey like how intensely cool the tubes are. Oh wow. Okay, yeah, that's way different than I expected. That's cool.
It's a plastic loom, basically.
Yeah, but you turn the crank.
Yeah.
You turn the crank and it does the things. I've seen rope made on machines. That's essentially it. But that would be...
That's all you need, really.
Yeah. What Mandy has in her hand is... It's kind of a... What would you say that material feels like?
Foam.
Right? It's like a foam. And it just has slots in it. And it really is crazy easy to pick up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's like a craft foam. It's a thick craft foam. Because if you use the thin ones, the tension of it causes it to fold. That's why we had to like try to glue 3 or 4 times over for the thin foam. We were going on vacation into Malaysia, and then for some odd reason I found that store that I sent you to that got closed up. I found that store and ended up with a bunch of Daiso string, and then suddenly I needed a kumi, and so we ended up at a Popular trying to find stuff to be able to make a kumi. We got the craft foam, but it was too flimsy, so we got some glue, and yeah. Yeah, supposed to be getting away from it all to take a break and stuff. And what do? Immediately get across the border and like need string. Good call, Minute. Yes. It's a bookstore that carries a bunch of other stuff, including a little bit like crafts, but not much. Oh, those are cute. That is really cute. But wait, so that's what you can do when you have a Kumi machine. Honey, on the top of the printer, grab my bracelet and show off. So this is going to blow you guys away. Like, you got it? This is what happens when you have a Kumi disc and you add the beads to it. And yeah, this is a bracelet that my wife has made for me. You keep going the wrong direction. Yeah. So yeah, that's a Kumi beaded bracelet that Mandy made. So yeah. I don't think your little machine can do that, but the regular disc that we use for making my loops is how we do this. All right, satin cord stuff. Yes, satin cord is too slippery for certain things, including possibly that. Yes. Oh, interesting side note. When doing a Kumi, if you start with a knot across the first 2 strings that you cross, and then you do, you know, for your loop, and then you tie another knot, it won't come undone while you're trying to set things up. Yeah, it's sort of got like a dragon scale sort of vibe to it. It's a little bit heavy for wearing every day, but I do like to wear it going out. There's a video on doing loops, all the various loops for bracelets, pros and cons, and yeah, I totally go into it like that. It's in my, it is in my YouTube. It's the, I don't remember what the video is called, but something about,
yeah, but it doesn't really show what very well what my new ones to see.
The Kumi part, to tying the knot in the beginning, it does.
I know, but it's not very clear. We kind of did it on a run.
Yeah, maybe I'll do another one just on the Kumi. Yeah, 12 strands is really good. Like that makes for like a good sized bracelet as well. That's how many strands are in the Kumi for this bracelet here. There's 6 colors, but each strand is doubled up, so there's your 12 individual strings, and then you get the other strings coming back down. So yeah, that's exactly what's in this. Yeah, it is really brief. That is a short video. So like I said, there's a knot at the beginning and the end of the Kumi itself, and then I just kind of take the strings and take the first one, like in this case it was the red, and just do a single loop over top of the red. And then the next was the orange that goes over what was left other than the red, and just worked itself on down. If you actually go back earlier into this video, you can actually watch me do it. But yeah, Mandy pretty much gets them all set up for me, just the little kumi like this, and then I throw it all together. Yep. Well, kind of the middle, not the beginning.
No, the first one you did too.
The first one I already had the strings on. But yeah, I would encourage you to watch the whole video again. There's a lot of good stuff in there. Plus, we're humorous. Yeah, because I already had with the browns and stuff, I was afraid of like getting the sequence right. So I had everything lined up before I started. Well, there we go. How was that for just diving in and getting a bracelet done? So there we have it. The hot colors on one side, the colds on the other, split down the middle. It's just an interesting take on that one pattern. I don't know. I can show you the. So yeah, this one here, it has like 5 diamonds in between. I'm not sure how much, like how thick their string is, if they're intending to be able to go on repeat like that. But I just wanted to demonstrate the fact that you can choose how many dots to go inside there, so that way you end up with it being to the length that you want it. Because it's my belief that every pattern can be altered and changed to be more of the way that you want it to be, and that you should have fun with that. I think that's important. I think you should enjoy what you're doing and make it your own, and have a story to tell. So yeah, go check out the website, akaawol.com. Lots of patterns, tutorials, as well as shop, so you can pick up a bracelet. Then I think that's about it. So wait, before I go, I want to thank all my Patreon supporters who make all this stuff special happen. Like, I can't do it without you guys, so thank you guys so much. I've been on for 3 hours, so I made 2 bracelets in 3 hours. So yeah, thanks guys, it's been awesome. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.